hear my cousin Alexis go, "Who are you talking to?" And I turn to look at him. He's coming out of the bathroom from the complete other side. And I quickly turn back, and of course, there's no one there. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you stay because it is really fun here. At least I think so. So today we are continuing the 31-day series of Ghosts Glam, where we do our makeup together and I share a paranormal, creepy, scary story that I've encountered. So today I'm like really excited. We're done with the stories about my childhood home. But now before we dive into this other home that there were so many experiences with, I want to kind of like sprinkle in some one-off stories. And before we dive in, I just want to remind you that I am trying to hit 100 subscribers before the end of October. So if you like creepy content, if you like makeup, lifestyle vlogs, basically really we do a little bit of everything on this channel, and all with the purpose of bringing awareness to physical differences, because I was born with a physical difference. So it's all about adaptability or accessibility. I don't know, whichever word we want to use. Oh, and I got my nails done. They're all spooky and Halloweeny. Shout out to my girl J Love Nails here in Vegas. Look how cute they look. I usually do long nails, but we're trying to heal my nails, so we're just doing like gel on them as they heal and as they grow and all the stuff. So yeah, let's dive into it. I don't know how long this story is gonna be, so I don't know how much time I have, but I'm kind of feeling like doing like a little Tiffany makeup from Bride of Chucky. So let's see, in honor of the series being back on, I think it's season 4, we might do a little something cute. Let's just dive into this. So this story that I'm going to share with you today is a pretty short one. Maybe I'll do a couple of them in this story time. It just depends on how long it takes for me to do my makeup. But one of the stories in the main story that I want to share with you today is about the time that I literally saw my cousin's doppelganger. My cousin's doppelganger. Actually, maybe I'll do 2 stories in this. Yeah, I'm gonna share 2 stories with you in this video. The time I saw my cousin's doppelganger, and then also the time that some weird happened. So these 2 stories take part in my grandma's workplace, and my grandma owned a school supply shop / restaurant. It was right across a high school, and she basically owned and ran it, but I don't even know what it's called in English. In Spanish it's a papeleria. Basically they sell like school supplies, they do like prints, so it's like a print shop. Then like in the same location she had a restaurant, so the high schoolers would go get their school supplies that they needed, get their shit printed when they needed, their homework binded, you know, all the stuff. And during lunchtime they would go eat there. My grandma would make like burgers and tacos, and it was just like a cool little shop. And like when I was younger, my cousins, my tias, all of them, my mom, we would all just go and meet up there sometimes and all eat lunch together or whatever the case was. And one day I remember we were getting ready to eat, and this day we had picked up, like my mom had picked up tostadas and like some burritos and and we were just gonna eat there. And I remember they were calling all the kids and stuff. And I remember this clearly. They're like, help us get everyone like here so we could all eat together. And I was like, okay, like I'll start getting my cousins. So I'm calling my cousins and they're all coming over. And the way it was set up, it was like the shop. And then there was a little back area that was covered. And that's where we set up the tables and we were gonna eat there. And then more towards the back, like after that little space where we set the table up, there was this like lifted area. Like this, it was like open field, but there was like this lifted thing because there used to be a house there. That house was also really creepy when it was up, and then when it got knocked down, well, it didn't get knocked down for a long time. They actually was just like abandoned. And like the windows were broken out. Not broken out, but it did not have windows and like all this stuff. And my cousins and I used to play in there all the time. We used to play hide and seek. And it was just creepy in there, but that's a different story for a different day. Anyways, getting back to the story. By this time, the house was already knocked down, so it was just an open area, like giant open area. And so I was calling my cousins to come over here, to come to the table to eat because food was already here. My mom had just arrived with it. And so I'm calling them and I see my cousin Alexis. And I go, Alex, like, come over here. And like he looks at me directly and he's just staring at me, and I was like, yo, like come over here. And then I hear my cousin Alexis go, who are you talking to? And I turn to look at him. He's coming out of the bathroom from the complete other side. And I quickly turn back, and of course there's no one there. And I was so weirded out, and I was like, oh my god, like I was going to my tias and my mom, and I was like, did you see him? Like he was just over there. How was he in the restroom? All this stuff. And yeah, that is one of the stories for today. I knew that one was gonna be short, so we're just gonna add like 2 or 3 that happened at my grandma's workplace because those are pretty quick. Honestly, I do think it was a doppelganger because it really has no other explanation but for it to be. This is pretty Tiffany, the eye makeup. I don't know. So that is story 1. For story 2, again, we were at my grandma's workplace, and this had to be the time where like DS, like the game system, had just came out, and we were playing on my DS. And if you guys remember Picto Chat or whatever that thing was called, we were on there. We loved messaging each other. By we, I mean my cousins and I. And so we were in the open area. It was my cousins and I, and it was like 3 of us. No, it must have been like 5 of us, because it was the 2 that are my age. And then, wait, who was it? It was me, my sister, and then my 3 cousins, they're brothers. And then I want to say it was 1 more, but I can't remember. And so we were all just hanging out, chilling in that open area behind my grandma's behind my grandma's shop. And we were all playing in the Picto Chat because that's what you do on the DS. And we were sending each other little messages, right? We were drawing and sending them. And then, you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but if there was another DS nearby, it would connect to your DS and you could chat with other people, right? And so we were just hanging out there when all of a sudden the name Leslie popped up in the chat. And we were like, who the hell is Leslie and why did she pop up? And her name stayed there for a bit. And we were just kind of like, okay, like, who's Leslie? So we said, like, hola, like, whatever. And this Leslie person was not responding at all. So we're just, like, sitting there, like, who the hell is Leslie? Like, who is this person? And then a couple of minutes later, it just disappears. And we're like, that's weird. That's a little weird. But, you know, it picks up random DSs. So we're like, okay, maybe, like, someone was in here with their kid or something. And it picked up that DS. Or maybe someone drove by and it picked up that signal. Like, I don't know, we didn't think much about it. We were just like, whatever. So we continued playing. That was that. We continued using PicChat or PictoChat or whatever it's called. And, we just moved on. We were playing. We then got bored and stopped playing that. And we started playing other games, right? We stopped playing on the DS and we started playing like tag or something. We also loved to do like a Spanish version of London Bridge. I don't know why, but we loved to do that. So we started just playing in the back area. And then after a couple of hours of us just playing out there, and it was getting a little bit later, there was smoke in the sky. And we were like, what the hell? Like, what's burning? And it was coming from this police station thing that was right next to the high school. So the way it was like my grandma's shop. And then across the street was the high school. And then to the right was the police station, or a police station. Might have been a security space, but I'm pretty sure it was a police station. And so we were like, is the police station burning? Like, what? There was like a stupid amount of smoke. So we go inside and we're like telling our moms, we're like, is something burning? Like, what is happening? They come out and they're looking and they're like, I don't know, like, that's super weird. There's a lot of smoke. And so they kind of go and look in the front to see if, like, where the smoke is coming from. But it wasn't coming from the police station. Like, it was further away. But they really couldn't see what it was or where it was coming from. And they just assumed that it was, like, something was burning in the distance. So we were just like, okay, whatever. We continued playing. And we're looking at the smoke because it's getting smokier and smokier. Like, the sky's literally turning gray from how smoky it is. And we just kind of were like, what the fuck is that? Like, being children. And then we're like, you know what? Let's kind of like just hang out for a bit. We're tired of playing stupid games. Like, let's go back to playing on the DS. So we opened it again. And we go into the chat that the DS had. And instantly, the name Leslie pops up again. And we're like, what the hell? And remember how I told you guys, like, my family loves scaring each other. Like, we're little freaks. And so I remember starting, because I wasn't the oldest in that, my other cousin was. But in this situation, like, I'm the one that started it. And I was like, what if it's like a ghost? And my cousins were just like, on the DS, like, why would there be a ghost on the DS? That's weird. And I was like, well, you never know. And, being me, I was just like, you never know, like, what if it is? And they were just like, I mean, okay, like, no one believed me. So I gave up. I was like, whatever. It's probably just someone that lives by my grandma's shop or something, but I don't think the DS had that much range. If you know how much range the DS had, let me know. But I don't think it was that much. Like, I don't think if it was one of the neighbors, I would have like picked it up, you know? So we were just kind of like there. And the name Leslie would not go anywhere. Like, it was just staying there. So we were finally like, okay, this is weird. So we kept sending like little holas, little hi, little drawings in the chat. And they were not responding, like, at all. And so we were finally like, whatever, like, I bet you it's nothing. We got out of the chat. We're just sitting there talking about it. And at this point, like, it's getting smokier and smokier and smokier. So we're like, should we go inside? Like, what should we do? Because this is getting actually insane. And we're like, yeah, like, let's go inside. So we're gathering our stuff. And as we're gathering our stuff, my younger cousin looks up and he's like, what is that? And so we all turn to look at the sky. And in the smoke, this sounds ridiculous, but I swear to you guys this happened. We looked up and in the smoke, the name Leslie starts popping up in smoke, in literal smoke, like within the dark smoke, lighter smoke, and we're just like, what the and we start freaking the hell out. And we're like, what? Like, what is that? Like, we're children. We're freaked out. So we're just staring at this name up in the smokes, up in the sky. And when all of a sudden we hear like the sound that a lechuza makes. And if you don't know what a lechuza is, it's basically the giant owls that in like Mexican culture are supposedly witches. So we hear that. We turn, sure enough, there's one in the tree. And we're like, what the hell? Like, we are freaked out. We run inside and we're like trying to explain it to our moms and to my grandma. And my grandma's like, all right, stay in here. Like, you're not going back out there. Oh no, my grandma. We love her. We're freaking out because first the name and the smoke, and now this freaking owl lechuza thing. So we're like, what the fuck? We're freaking out. And so our moms go out there to look, and they come back in and they're like, it is a lechuza. And one of my tias, she was like, oh, like, did you know lechuzas are witches? And like, I don't know, just telling us all this shit. And as she's telling us, we hear like water dripping, like a splash. And we're like, what is that? We turn, and my little cousin, her son, had peed his pants because he was so damn scared. And I'm not gonna out him because, well, there's no need to out him by his name. But he was so scared. He must have been like 5 at the time. So he was so freaked out. And he peed his pants. And we were just all kind of like, what the hell? And we ended up leaving. That was that. And there was really no explanation. It could have just been coincidences. Who knows? Kind of want to put red lipstick on, but I don't know if that's the vibe. We're gonna do it, and then we'll see. But it's like super red. I look crazy on this camera. This light is not it. I sure it looks cute in person, but we gotta do something about it. Yeah, I don't know if this is a vibe, but we're going with this. Yeah, my cousin Peter's pants, and there was really no explanation for the name on the DS, no explanation for the name in the smoke, no explanation for the album. There really wasn't much to go off of, except that it was really, really creepy. So as for my cousin's doppelganger, I don't know. I really don't know. That's the first and only time I've ever seen a doppelganger, and it was kind of weird, to say the least. But that is all I have for you today on day 7. Like I said at the beginning of the video, do not forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment if you like this type of content. If you've ever experienced a doppelganger, let me know. And how did you know it was doppelganger? Not just like, I forgot my eyebrows. And not just a weird, like, issue with your eyes. I don't know. And as always, oh my god, I have my darker one. And as always, remember to be the best version of yourself, because that's all we can really be in this world, is always strive to be the most incredible version of you. So yeah, I will see you on tomorrow's episode. This one was kind of short, actually not really, but you know, 2 stories in one. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Until then, like I said, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of October. And if you want to connect, follow me on Instagram at Ruby Skelton. Everything is linked in the description below. Alright, I will see you next time. Bye.